Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Haunted by Tape, Go Virtual for IBM I. I'm your host today, Axe Signer, Vice President of Electronic Storage Corporation. Our company located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have been in business for over 30 years. We're a software development company, and here in our Tulsa office, we have our own programming staff, as well as our own technical support and customer service staff here in Tulsa. We are an IBM registered business partner and Microsoft certified partner. So in today's session, we're going to talk about manual tape nightmares, virtual tape functionality and capabilities with a live demo of our particular product, LaserVault Vital, and then have a quick Q&A session towards the end there if you have any questions you'd like to get answered during the webinar. So we're going to banish tape nightmares with tape nightmares being slower speeds, potential data loss, extended downtime, labor intensive. So if you're currently dealing with tapes, you know a manual, time consuming process that can be. Slow and complicated restores. We're going to talk about a VTL solution in which restores can be immediate with having all your virtual tape backups online and available at any time in order to be able to perform restores. With tape also being physical limitation, limited scalability of tape, whereas a virtual tape solution, your scalability is virtually unlimited with the ability of using and adding disk space at any time to a particular solution. We all know about, slower speeds compared to tape and backing up to disk. We're going to talk more about that as we go along in this webinar. So virtual tape benefits: streamline and automate your backups and recoveries. So this is basically we're going to be talking about and showing a demonstration on how you can actually do that, accomplish that within your backup and recovery environment, and eliminate the risks and delays of physical tape because of the fact that, number one, is faster than physical tape, saving to disk, and number two, being able to retrieve a particular object or library from a virtual backup on a virtual tape can be done at any time because all your backups can be online and available. Improving performance using existing storage and infrastructure. We're going to cover this in the webinar and talk about how you can use existing storage for backup. So if you're looking at a way to use a particular backup appliance, backup storage, that could be incorporated with your IBM I backups as well, and leveraging those technologies. Deduplication and replication options within backup. The ability to perform high level compression, high ratio compressions with your data, also in replication that is extremely beneficial in replicating your backups, taking less time and replicating less data. Keeping your BRMS, robot save, or using native save commands in the Go Save menu means a seamless transition from a physical tape backup solution to a VTL, being that you can incorporate your current backup processes with a VTL, including restore processes. Also, as D-mode IPL capabilities with virtual tape are very important, and those are absolutely possible with a virtual tape solution like LaserVault Vital. Unique benefits. Our virtual solution is purpose-built for the IBM I environment, meaning that we emulate LTO for IBM I with fiber channel or SAS connectivity, same as physical tape, giving you the ability to perform full system saves from IBM I, restricted state saves, as well as D-mode IPL. Also providing you a seamless LTO emulation, which we'll talk more about in the demonstration, those options for LTO. Flexible storage, hardware, software combination with a turnkey solution, or even just software only as a solution for a VTL. And then we'll also discuss a little bit about a VM option for running our software within a VM. Use existing SAN or NAS deduplication storage. So if you'd like to leverage existing storage without having to purchase additional storage for backups, we're going to talk about how LaserVault can integrate with any of those backup storage solutions. Cloud and offsite automated replication, giving you the ability to have an offsite copy of your backup, whether it's to a DR location, a co-location, cloud storage, all of the above, where you might store even multiple copies of your backups for offsite recovery. So scalable and secure. Secure being that you have the ability to secure backups, access to those backups within our particular interface, and scalable being that it's easy to add additional storage, additional virtual tapes, to eliminate limitation of a physical tape backup solution. So speed, faster, more dependable backups. We've got a chart here showing a basic benchmark where 850 megasecond is just the beginning of what you could accomplish with a backup speed compared to those virtual tapes, LTO9, LTO8, etc., giving you almost double or more than double your backup speed, shortening your backup window, being able to back up more data because you're able to back up faster, rapid, more reliable recovery, and being able to quickly go in and select a virtual tape from one of your backups in order to restore an object, a library, a full system. So giving you that ability to quickly access your backups for performing restores. Deduplication options. Our particular solution, LaserVault Vital, does have an optional built-in deduplication solution called bdupe. And this gives you the ability to perform a block level compression of your backups to where blocks are saved only when they contain new data or changed data. So repetitive data where it is not being written more than once at the block level. So also talking about, we had mentioned using SAN, NAS, or existing backup appliance storage for your IBM I saves. So using LaserVault as a gateway appliance between IBM I and external deduplication appliances such as our technology partners, Exagrid, Cohesity, Rubrik, IBM, and many more solutions in which the gateway can write directly through the VTL server to the storage, and also replication using those solutions to a DR site or co-location to be able to do backups and recoveries for disaster recovery, and accessing that storage for your IBM I backups through the gateway solution. Wanted to definitely announce a new technology partner and partnership with IBM, and using their IBM Defender Data Protect storage, whereas LaserVault becomes also a gateway solution to those backup protection clusters so that you can write data directly from your BRMS backups, your GoSave backups, through LaserVault VTL Gateway directly to the IBM Defender Data Protect cluster. So that gives you the ability to utilize that technology for your IBM I saves. Okay, so let's go into a live demo and show you some of the features and capabilities of LaserVault Vital. So I'm going to go into log into our web interface with my secure username and password as an administrator. I'm going to go first to libraries. So within this interface, what we're going to do is show some of the parameters of defining a virtual tape library for the IBM I to perform saves. So within this Manage Library screen, we're going to edit Library 1. We're going to give the library a name. which can match your system that it's being used on, whichever production or development or test system that this particular tape library is used for. That matches this menu option over here to the left, which we'll show in a minute. There's a serial number. This is going to match what the IBM sees this device as that serial number. Your LTO options for creating and saving to tapes is LTO 8, 5, 2, 3, 2, and 3. Couple of things to note on choosing an LTO version is none of these have a storage limitation unless you want to place that storage limitation on the virtual tape. So if your backup is 20 terabytes, it can actually all fit on one LTO 5 or LTO 8 virtual tape. Also, these have no relation to backup speed. Whether you choose 2 or 8, your backups will still be up to twice as fast or higher than physical tape. The number of storage slots. If you're currently using a physical tape library, you do have a limitation. Here, you basically do not have a limitation in terms of storage slots for your virtual tapes and all your backup retentions to be able to keep those available on disk within inventory on the tape library to do restores at any time or saves at any time that you need without having to recover additional physical tapes to rotate. So I've got my storage slot set to 60. You can increase the number of storage slots at any time. There's no licensing involved in whichever there's no licensing involved in the number of storage slots. Our licensing is one-time license fee, non-subscription. And the number can go up to 13,350 storage slots. Cache settings. Earlier we discussed saves and restore speeds. So these are some of the parameters that you can set and use to tweak the fastest backup speed in terms of file write cache size. Usually that number is anywhere from 8 to 16 meg for write cache size for backup speed. These settings can help you increase that speed. For restore speed as well. So you have a read cache speed for our TAP files and TDP files so that we can help you increase your restore speed compared to physical tape. The thing to note about doing restores is that when a restore is executed for an object or library, the software can go right to the location on the virtual tape in which that library object is located. So the restore begins immediately once you've executed that command, whether it's from BRMS or using restore object or restore library. So your restores begin immediately. Your restores from disk are going to be much faster than doing restores from tape. Even though IBMi's restores aren't terribly fast anyway, you will gain some speed in terms of a third or even more speed, much more speed compared to a physical tape. Now, each tape library could have one or more paths in which you are writing data for backup. I have two examples. I have writing to a local path storage to where LaserVault Vital resides on a server in which contains spin disk or SSD or flash storage. And you can have your virtual tapes reside there. When a backup is executed, data is written to that path. I have a second path for Azure Cloud Storage. That second path I can use to migrate any tapes from local storage to cloud storage. So this could be a number of things. This could point, instead of pointing to a local path, this could point to a SAN or NAS or deduplication appliance. Therefore, you have your gateway solution because that allows you to write data through the LaserVault gateway server, the VTL portion of your backups, and write that data directly to that path, being whatever storage that you're connected to via 10 gig Ethernet, fiber channel, whatever high-speed connection that you're needing to use from LaserVault to that storage. Next, we have the virtual tape drive definitions here. So we have one entry with control path yes. This represents a tape library with a tape device. So mine is TAP MLB V1. My tape device is TAP V1. So that is that single entry added into the web interface for that tape library to present this configuration to the IBM partition. Now our software supports NPIV via fiber channel, so that for each of those physical fiber channel connections within LaserVault, the Vital server, you can have up to 64 virtual devices per physical connection. So that would be connected the LaserVault fiber channel via switch, and then the IBMI to the switch, and being able to zone those virtual port names to the IBM partitions for multiple tape devices, up to 64 per physical fiber channel connection. This interface also has security to this so that you can limit based on users that belong to a group within this interface. And these are the different options that you can check on or off in terms of which users, which groups can have access to these individual features within this particular virtual tape library. So if you'd like to just have them be able to view and do nothing else within this interface, then just check that box. Check that to which group their username and password belongs to, and that would give them only secure access of viewing the library and the media within that tape library. Replication and retention. So replication and retention can be done both to secondary location as well as cloud without any manual intervention, so that you can do both replications. Once the replication has been defined within this interface, there'll be a scheduled task, scheduled job that will run automatically. That can be either initiated from the IBMI side, or it can be a scheduled task within the LaserVault Vital server. So the replication capabilities gives you the ability to apply replication to certain volumes based on volume prefix. So virtual tapes have a 6-character volume ID, just like a physical tape would within IBMI, within BRMS, within GoSave. So you're able to apply these replication tasks to cloud, secondary location, both, by defining those here in which volumes are replicated to which location. Like, for example, all of these prefixes are stars, so these replication jobs, once executed, would apply to all volumes. This replication job only applies to volumes with a prefix of D for daily, for example, in which the daily volumes would be replicated to Wasabi as a scheduled automated job. Okay, so there's a question. I'm going to go ahead and answer the question about direct attach. So you can direct attach. You can go IBM I 8 gig to LaserVault 16 gig, IBM I 16 to 16, 32 to 32. You will not have NPIV. So you would need, for each virtual tape library with device, you'd need a physical connection within the LaserVault server and the IBM I side in order to present the tape library and the tape device. So you do lose your NPIV capabilities with direct attach, but it is compatible with direct attach on 8, 16, 32 gig, 64 gig fiber channel, as well as SAS, of course. So if we take a look at in particular the cloud replication options, we've got Azure, S3, Wasabi. We have these three here so that you can go ahead and enter your cloud storage account access properties, so that LaserVault would have access to your cloud storage account in order to perform and write data to that cloud account, to that bucket, to that object storage, to that blob storage, whatever the case might be in terms of which provider you're using for cloud storage. We've also got one in here set up for replication to secondary site, where the path for the secondary site storage is located in order to replicate the volumes to that secondary site. Now, if you are or would be using a SAN, NAS, or deduplication appliance that does encryption, compression, deduplication, and also performs replication, you can perform all of those functions within your SAN or NAS or deduplication storage that LaserVault is using for your backups. Also within replication, if you're not using BRMS or robot save and you'd like to set up retention on your local backups at production or DR site, whichever you're performing your backups, as well as the replicated copies, you can define retention so that you can rotate through backups by expiring that media upon whenever the expiration date might be, whether it's last modified date or volume expiration date. And you can initialize or delete the media once it becomes expired. If you're going to reuse that media, then you can have LaserVault automatically initialize it once it becomes expired, and then you're able to reuse that media for a backup. With BRMS and Robot Save, the retentions basically managed by BRMS and Robot Save, so these settings typically aren't used when you're using that backup software. Okay, so let's take a look at Library 1. Now, because I have multipath defined and I have two different paths set up within this tape library, I'm going to have a column here called path, which shows which virtual tapes are in local storage, which virtual tapes have been migrated to another path. In this case, I have some tapes that have been migrated to Azure. Now, I do still see these in inventory because LaserVault, the software, is able to access virtual tapes from all paths defined, and there's no limit on the number of paths that you can define for each tape library. So I can see, and I can also restore backups from any of these tapes, whether they're located in cloud storage, secondary site, or local storage. Any tapes migrated to another path can be migrated back to local storage if you're needing to do that, and that can be automated. So if that tape needs to be reused for a backup, it can automatically be migrated back to local storage, because that's where you'd want to perform your save. It's much faster than going across the wire and writing to a tape that's in cloud storage or secondary site. We have a tape device up here. So this is the TAP V1 tape device. If you have multiple tape devices defined or drives defined, they'd all be listed here within this interface. You have the ability to manually move a tape into a drive. So I've just moved this tape into the drive. If this was a manual move where you needed to do a full system restore, a demode IPL from a full system tape, you could simply just go here and move this tape to the drive, and this tape is now mounted. Move that tape back to the slot. You can check labels. Nothing on that tape. Labels, it's going to show you all the libraries that are in that save, the sequence, and the size of the library. So you can do a quick display tape of the libraries that are in that volume by clicking on View Labels. Because I'm an admin, I can delete a tape. I can migrate a tape from one path to another, so I can migrate from local to Azure or SAN or NAS storage. And any of these Azure tapes, I can migrate back to local storage. Again, this would be done manually, but again, you can automate the process. Protecting a tape means that you can't write to it. I mean, you can't initialize it, delete it, or overwrite it, but you can append to it unless it's unprotected, and then you may write to it or initialize it if it's unprotected. So this interface, typically is used to define, your tape libraries, your configuration options, and then from that point on, it's defining using the LaserVault virtual tape or virtual tape libraries to perform your backups within BRMS, within a CO program that's doing your backups with go save commands. But this is really, most cases, just used for just setting everything up. And we do remote installation and training so that we can assist you in configuring your tape libraries, configuring your tape libraries to the IBM I side, as well as helping you with any backups, BRMS configurations, things of that nature, because we'd like to get you up and running with backups as soon as possible. One other thing to show is the replication jobs that you're performing with LaserVault. So these are jobs that have been completed and have been replicated or migrated. So this shows migrated jobs, replicated jobs. So it gives you just an audit trail of everything that you have replicated or migrated within LaserVault. So quick recap, eliminate your tape nightmares, faster backups and restores, simplified automated management of your backups, flexible storage, meaning you can use any existing storage, cloud storage, local disk storage on a server, and any combination of those storage options are available to you in order to set up your backups. And this really is going to assist in if you're needing additional storage, you're adding additional LPARs or additional retentions to your backups, being able to quickly scale out a solution easily and inexpensively for those additional backups. We talked about deduplication and replication options. Just to give you an idea, the LaserVault Vital solution comes standard with a compression option, which averages 5-to-1 compression. The deduplication is really bumps up your compression 10-to-1 or higher, 20-to-1, 30-to-1, depending on the type of change rate that you have within that data. Also, that is reducing the amount of data that you're replicating. So strengthen your data integrity, disaster readiness, being that you have multiple copies of your backups. Another thing I wanted to mention is being able to move from tape to virtual. So you can move from physical to virtual. You can move from virtual to physical. At any time that you need to do one of those two options, that's available to make copies of your backups to physical tape and move physical tape to, or copy physical tape to virtual tape. There's some resources you can download within the GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar panel. These are those resources that you can download. The last one there, quote sizing questionnaire. This gives us an idea of fiber channel or SAS connectivity to configure for the IBM I connections, storage if needed for backups, unless you're using SAN, NAS, or deduplication appliance storage. So this gives us and also licensing of our software, which again is a perpetual license, not subscription. Some of the technical specifications is good to know, but we can completely configure a custom solution for your backup needs in terms of storage, fiber channel, SAS, network connectivity to your SAN or NAS storage can all be configured either by a complete turnkey solution, or we just provide you specifications to load the software. Now, before we go, if you're having a question or needing to know about LaserVault in a VM before I finish, is LaserVault in a VM is definitely possible, but you do need a PCIe slot in your host server for a fiber channel or SAS HBA, because that gives you the connectivity to the IBM I that's required for really performing backups such as full system restricted saves and demode IPL. So I had some questions so far that I think I've already covered pretty good. If there's any other questions that you'd like to type in for me on the go to webinar panel, that'd be great, and I can go ahead and answer those. Contact us for any questions or pricing information or sending out your questionnaire for sizing and configuration to info@laservault.com. Our 800 numbers there. We'll have a drawing for a 1 terabyte portable SSD, a SAN disk at the end of this, and then the winner will be announced. You'll be notified email for the winner of that particular giveaway, and that is a $140 value. So at the end of this webinar, you'll get a quick survey request. It's just got a few questions there. If you'd like to go ahead and take some time to answer those questions for us, that'd be great, to make sure that we're on the right track for talking about and showing you some of the things that you're looking for in a VTL solution. Okay, well, our time is up for this, and want to thank you very much. We do have these at least once a month, so if you have others that would like to attend, but we'll be sending this an invite again out for the next webinar, which we usually have these every month. Anyway, thanks everybody for your time. Appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your day.